Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Hyland. I'm the founder of Heal My Voice. And over this holiday season, I am posting a Facebook Live every day to summarize a radio show that I'm highlighting about transforming grief. Back in 2010, I hosted 44 radio shows on grief transformation over the holidays with 27 guests and then 17 shows that I did by myself. So today I'm highlighting day 7, the 7th show of 44 shows, and my guest was Carin Channing. Now let me just tell you a little bit about Carin, and then I'm going to share a summary of some of the topics, the things that we talked about, as well as share a little bit more. So Carin Channing is a hands-on authority in rest and creativity encouragement. She envisions bringing simple, introspective creativity to every person on the planet. She is the author of the book 365 Days of Doodling, Discovering the Joys of Being Creative Every Day, and for families, Doodle Book Junior, 101 Creative Prompts for Kids. And you can find out more about Carin at the website doodleoutreach.com. Now, when I finish the Facebook Live, I will post the link to the radio show from 2010. But I'll just give you a few snippets of that. First of all, at the time of the show, Carin was blogging on the Be Here Now website for the 40th anniversary of Ram Dass's book, Be Here Now, which was originally published in 1971. And she was a blogger writing about Be Here Now, different inspirations from the book. And we decided to do this radio show because we were both in a place of listening, and we wanted to talk about the power of it. It was like we were trying to put words to something that didn't have words. I mean, what does it feel like when you say to your family, I'm going to take time to listen to my voice? And you don't have any answers. You can't answer the what are you doing today question. So we were talking about becoming more comfortable with silence, solitude, quiet, being in that space, and really taking time to cultivate this place of stillness. What does it mean to do something like cultivating when you're in a place of stillness? And even things like going to a holiday where we didn't really have any answers about what was next in our lives. It was more like, what are you doing today? One of my answers was, I'm daydreaming with God. I'm taking long walks every day and daydreaming with God. So, hold on, I just realized I didn't pull I didn't plug in my phone. All right, here's a little spontaneous moment of getting electricity so we don't end this with a Be Here Now. There you go. You get a little view of the outdoors while I do this. Okay. I think we're plugged back in here. So, talking about being here now, I mean, one of the things that I said on the show was having this experience that the experience is the experience, that there aren't words always. I'm having this experience right now of silence, of being. And especially when things are changing in your life and you don't have the answers for what's next. You don't have the vision or the image of how your life is going to change. When are you going to land in this new place with a job or whatever? Some of the things that Carin Channing and I talked about on that radio show, that we don't know who we are or where we are anymore. You know, it's not a bad thing, but there weren't words for something that we're becoming. So for instance, if you were going to college, you might have a major that you're studying. You might have an idea of what you're studying, but you don't really know where you're going with this. Long-term plans don't make sense to me was one of the things that Carin said on that show. And she also talked about the power of quieting down and getting into your own tune. It's a beautiful, generous thing. I'd say one of the things that Carin and I both really agreed about was how it was important to find some other like-minded people. Because in this place of, I don't know who I am and I don't know where I'm going, and right now I've got like a crooked thing here I'm trying to fix. There's this level of, I don't know, for me the way I would say is I felt like I should have the answers. I felt that it was almost easier to disconnect from people who I loved so that I didn't have to answer questions. And at some point I thought, well, I'm going to take a month to listen for my voice and then I'll have the answers. Or hopefully God will leave me a message by the telephone telling me, what am I here? Why am I in California? What am I here to do? And it just didn't happen. And it really took about a year to finish the process of listening to my voice. And even at this point, years later, I find that I'm in a place where I'm always looking at how can I stay connected to people. It's an ongoing process. There aren't easy answers when, thank you, Jeannie. Yes, it is a transformation. You know, so, okay, so I'll give you an example. This year, after the election, I'm sure that there were many of us who have been trying to find ways to connect with people, and that there are different things that are happening. So I just decided that I was going to send text messages and photos, and that I was going to stay in silence. I didn't need to get on the phone and have conversations with some of my relatives. And that was a choice for this year. You know, another thing would be to send a card, or, you know, a way of staying connected while also setting boundaries. And I would say that that's part of it also. All right, so I want to share two stories that were not part of the radio show, but things that have happened in the last 6 years since then. Two thoughts that came to me. One, this power to be in the present moment with what you're experiencing. So when you're in a place of you've had a loss or you're in change, you know, it may be that this is your first holiday season since your divorce. This could be the first holiday season since you have moved to a new place and you're not really sure what the new, you know, if you even want to celebrate the holidays or what the holidays look like. I had a lesson from my granddaughter, who's 3, one day, who was, we were in the theater with Dramatic Adventure Theater. There were about 40 people who had just returned from Tanzania, and we had a whole week of being in the theater with rehearsals and then plays. And so my granddaughter and I were there, and we were in the midst of a lot of activity one morning, and people were eating breakfast. And my granddaughter was sitting there, I would say, you know, here she was almost 3 at that time. She was very mindfully eating her bagel with cream cheese. She was very fascinated by it. She was eating it. She was watching people come in and out. But there was a moment where some of the cream cheese dropped on her leg. And this to me was the ultimate be in the moment with the experience that you are having. She began to play with that cream cheese. She just started to swirl it, to feel it, to see what she could do to paint with it, like a finger painting on her leg. You could see she was in the moment of the sensation, the being in the moment. And if I can pass that on to you for how to be in this holiday season, it's to be in the moment of where you are, to feel what you are feeling. If you're feeling lost, give yourself some time to feel lost and just notice what that is. And then ask for what is the next step for me to take in my life. And it might be go to the refrigerator and pour yourself some eggnog. You know, it's like just follow this moment by moment and let go of the expectations of what it has to be this year. Just decide for this year. The other thing that I want to share is in June 2014, my lease was up. I had been living with a group of people in community, and some people know this story, or you know part of this story, but I made the decision at that time to begin a journey of what I call living home free. And even today I was thinking I would like to come up with a different word for that. So the way that what it looked like at the beginning was I have a small storage unit in California. I had created Heal My Voice, and I had been working on it for maybe a couple years at that point. I love it, Jeannie. Yes. So life is like cream cheese. Just spread it around until the next sensation comes up. Ah, I love it. That's great. Smear on. Okay. So to get back to my story here, Heal My Voice had been going on for a few years. I had been working really hard on it, and I was at a place where I was just asking myself, what is Heal My Voice? And what's next for it? What is it that I can be doing or being with Heal My Voice? So I decided to pack up 2 suitcases and live from inspiration. And what I mean by that is I had an idea of the first 3 locations I was going to go to. I had an idea of other places that I wanted to visit, but I wanted to live with Heal My Voice authors so that I could have some dialogue with them about what was happening in their lives. What did they see as the next step in their lives? How had Heal My Voice impacted them? What is it that is being called forth for women in the world? So I lived in Santa Barbara for a week, and then Santa Cruz for a week, and in Thunder Bay for a week. And then I flew to the East Coast, where I lived for a few months. But I was living with people, and I call it living home free because there's no exchange of money. But every location that I've been in, I have been there as helping with pet sitting or childcare or cooking, helping to cook meals. I've been part of the community. I have been sitting with people and having conversations. I work an 8 to 10 hour day on my computer, on my online business every day with writing, coaching, a variety of things that I do with people. I coach some people and do writing and editing of, I have a novelist and a screenplay writer. I'm working on somebody's program right now. So there's a variety of things that I do. I'm living in their house, and I'm one of the people who are here. So some of the houses I've lived in, I've been there because there's a family who's in transition. And it might be that someone's living alone in the house now, and they want someone in the house. They want a presence. And so part of being here is coaching, is being a part of community. But what I've learned through this is, first of all, it's definitely an alternate type of a lifestyle. And it is a way of staying connected with people while also connecting to myself in different locations, and it's part of the journey. So this radio show that Carin Channing and I did 6 years ago, that I'm going to post the radio show link at the end of Facebook Live. I'll go in and edit the description so it's there. Carin and I were really talking about, what does it look like when you're being guided to do something that might look weird to your family or might not have words to describe what it is. You know, I've been saying I live home free, and my family member, my dad, was really worried because he sees it as I'm homeless. Well, yeah, I don't have a home base. My home base is a small storage unit in California and a post office box that I've had since 2010 that's in California. Those are my home bases. Actually, you could say I am my home. I am my home, and I've been living with different people on the West Coast, on the East Coast of the United States, in Sweden. I was there for 6 weeks, and creating a different kind of living. So I would say I'll just leave you with some of the keys that I have found over the years is, if you have even a few words to say to people. So at one point, I arrived on the East Coast and people were like, how long are you going to be here? What are you doing next? Where are you going to be living? Where are you going to be working? You know, all of these questions that I didn't really have answers to. So I came up with, I'm giving myself 6 weeks to land, and then I will know more at that time. And it was just a way to kind of laser in to the questions about the future, and then we could focus on the present. And really, all we really know is the present anyway. We can have dreams and visions, we can think we know where we're going, but moment by moment, it's living in the present moment. Be here now. Feel what you're feeling now. Create a new tradition of connection now, and enjoy your life. What you are experiencing right now is the experience. So I'll leave you with Carin Channing saying, quieting down and getting into your own tune, it's a beautiful, generous thing for your life. All right, so I would love to hear if anyone has experiences with this. Please post in the comments, and I will be back tomorrow to talk about show number 8 of 44 radio shows on transforming grief. And thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye now.